Welcome. I am Dr. Phoebe Bronstein. I'm super excited to talk to you about a new global seminar housed in Sixth that would allow you to take CAT 125 and fulfill one of Sixth's GE requirements by taking an upper division literature class while studying abroad in London for 5 weeks in the summer. This will be Sixth's first global seminar, and I'm really excited to lead it and tell you a little bit more about myself and about the program in this short video. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is both on the Sixth College website in the CAT area and also at the end of this short video. So we will be traveling to London for 5 weeks in the summer. This is a global seminar program. If you have questions about the global seminar, a great place to start is their webpage. So first, this is me. I'm, like I said, Dr. Phoebe Bronstein. I'm an assistant teaching professor, which means that I do a lot of teaching, and I teach primarily in CAT. I teach all of the CAT classes, 123, 125, 125R, and I also teach first year seminars. I occasionally oversee an independent study or a practicum. And my background is in literature and media studies, but my research is in television. And I have a strange love, perhaps, of British murder mysteries, which is what some of these this literature class that will be part of the global seminar is built around. I am an assistant teaching professor, and I'm also the director of the Culture, Art, and Technology and Practicum programs at Sixth. So, why London? I studied abroad. I went to alum of the UC system. I went to UCLA. I'm actually from Oakland originally, and I studied abroad through EAP in England at the University of East Anglia in Norwich for a year. My junior year of college, it was incredible. I took classes, I traveled a ton, both within the UK and also in Europe, which was such a privilege. I also watch a lot of British television, as I already said. And I have a background, while I do study television, now I actually have a background in British literature and did a lot of sort of graduate coursework in that field, and that was what I studied as an undergrad, and so I still have a sort of interest in British literature, and particularly when it comes to thinking about questions of empire and travel. And London, London is an incredible cultural hub, the site of media, literature, and British culture. It's also, of course, the center of the former British Empire, which is one of the things we'll be talking about when we think sort of critically about travel narratives, or these narratives of empire, narratives that sustained empire. So that is a segue into CAT 125. CAT 125 generally is our upper division public communication class, but it's very much a class that is about public storytelling. And we think about public storytelling broadly. So in this CAT 125 class, we're going to think about public storytelling as it relates to questions about travel, including our own travel experiences as we move to London for 5 weeks, as we wander through the landscapes of London and think about those sort of experiences and how the city constructs those experiences, and then also how different narratives have sort of imagined the space of London and told stories about it. So we might read anything from the Lonely Planet Guide to London and to England to Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, to think about refugee storytelling based on a collection by Viet Thanh Nguyen, The Displaced. We'll also think sort of more theoretically about travel and stories about travel using Zygmunt Bauman's Globalization. And so this will really be a class where we're thinking about how do stories about travel get told, and how do those impact and frame our own experiences of movement, and how is movement and the stories about movement and the privilege of movement dependent on questions of race, class, gender, national status. So the other class is going to be a literature class, which I'm super excited to teach, called Detecting England, Narrating Crime in British Media. One of the foundational texts we'll read is Judith Walkowitz's City of Dreadful Delight. And the chapter that we'll read from her is about Jack the Ripper and the sort of narratives that surrounded Jack the Ripper, and these sort of narratives of danger, and how those narratives of danger are always functioning at the intersection of race, gender, sexuality, immigration status. And we'll also read Alan Sekula's text on sort of Victorian era crime photography. We'll watch shows like Agatha Raisin and Luther. We'll also think about the sort of construction of the city versus the country in rural crime dramas. So some of the things we'll do was we'll take a Jack the Ripper tour. We'll go to museums in London. We'll see a play at the Globe. And then we'll also spend the weekend at in the Cotswolds, which is, of course, is the site of Downton Abbey, but also the site of many British crime dramas. So wrapping it up, I'm thrilled at this opportunity to teach a global seminar. I'm really excited that this is Six College's first global seminar and that we're able to offer GE courses to allow you to come travel abroad and experience what it's like to study abroad, while also getting what you need done so that you can, make your way towards that final degree. Please feel free to contact me. Email is always best. That's my email on the screen. And I really look forward to meeting with you, talking to you, and answering any questions you have about traveling to London.